All right, in this video, we're gonna be going over the 5 things that you need to know in your first year of trading. Now, the reason I'm sharing these 5 things with you is because these are things that I wish I knew in my first year of trading, and I learned them the hard way after years of trial and error. And so I'm sharing them with you today. That way you can get results way quicker than anybody else. All right, so the first one, there is no best strategy, okay? I don't care what your dad says. I don't care what your mom says. I don't care what your little Twitter buddy says. There is no best strategy, okay? You gotta remember, there are countless ways to look at the market, all right? So what you need to do is you need to find an approach that resonates with you in your trading personality. Don't listen to what some guru online says about trade this strategy, it's the best. How do they know? How do they know what's gonna work for you and your trading personality, all right? That's why you need to ask yourself, what kind of trader do I want to be, okay? So for me personally, right, I know that I'm not the best swing trader. It's not because I can't do it. It's because that me personally, I can't go to bed with money on the line. I'll be scrolling on my phone in bed and I won't be able to be present in the moment if I'm with family or friends, right? I just know myself. I'm not the best swing trader. So I like to hold intraday. I'll hold for a couple hours. I'll hold for, an hour or so, get that daily candle expansion, and then I'm done, right? So you need to ask yourself, what kind of trader do I want to be? What kind of entries and exits do I like, right? What kind of concepts resonate with me personally? And you might have a job. You might have, kids that you have to tend to. You might not be able to sit there in front of the charts all day, every day, and watch the charts, right? So you need to be able to ask yourself, what kind of trader do I want to be? What suits my lifestyle, and then work from there, right? Don't just go copy what someone says, okay? Because you're gonna find that what's working for them might not work for you, all right? So ask yourself, what kind of trader do I wanna be? And if someone is online preaching to you how they never lose or their strategy is somehow the best, just go ahead and block that idiot, all right? Go ahead, block that person because they're lying to you, all right? So number 2, right? Remember, profitable traders, they lose money. This is the second thing that I wish I knew when I first began trading. Profitable traders lose money and they lose trades just like everybody else, all right? No one's special, we're all built the same. But you gotta remember, trading is a game of probabilities, okay? So we have to think in terms of probabilities and statistics, right? And so you need to have a statistically backed proven edge, right? Come back to the best strategy part. You need to have an edge that is statistically backed and proven in the market, okay? So trading's a game of probabilities and controlled losses are the cost of doing business, okay? Just like any other business, you have to treat trading as a business. You're gonna have expenses. You're gonna have losses in business, right? But that's the price you pay when you're operating and you wanna make that kind of money, all right? So you must develop that professional mindset and attitude when you come into the market, all right? Just like everybody else, profitable traders, they lose money, and so you have to develop a professional mindset and attitude. That way, when you take 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 losses in a row, you know that your edge is going to work because you know it's proven, it's statistically backed, you've back tested it, and you forward tested it, right? But first, you gotta back test it. And so you might be asking, how do you develop a professional mindset, Zach? Well, I can tell you how I did it. It's by going through old data, back testing that data, using your strategy. And when that strategy comes out on top over the long term, over the series of trades, right? Let's say you take 1,000 trades or 100 trades and you've back tested it and you know it works in those market conditions. Well, now you can carry that over into a live market environment and you have the confidence and the backing with the proof that you've executed it, and you can carry that over into a live market and get results, right? And so you're gonna have losses, but if you find someone who never loses, send them my way, all right? Because I'd love to capture that person, study that person, and maybe even replicate what they're doing, all right? No, just kidding. Anyways, you gotta remember, block the person if they say they never lose because everyone has losses and your edge in the market is only so sharp, okay? This right here, this is a little knife, right? I drew that knife. It's pretty good, right? but your edge in the market is only so sharp. What do I mean by that? Well, in trading, an edge in the market gives you an advantage over someone else, right? Or other market participants. So your edge is only so sharp because you're gonna have losing trades, right? Let's say your edge allows for like a 60% win rate, which is pretty good, right? You're winning over half the time. That's great. And if you're doing 2-to-1 setups, right, and you only need to be right around 33% of the time, but you're right 60% of the time, well then boom, you're making money, right? Now you're making money. So your edge is only so sharp. And if you push it, right, you're gonna dull it, right? So that's why I have written right here, don't dull your edge, because you can only win so many trades before you take an L. It's gonna happen, okay? Number 3, this is the third thing I wish I knew in my first year of trading. And I'm sharing it with you. Trading should be systematic. Now this was a game changer for me, okay? This right here was a game changer. The one thing that helped me realize it was getting into and out of a trade should feel repetitive, all right? Getting into and out of a trade should feel repetitive. I'm gonna say it one more time. Trading should be systematic, and getting into and out of a trade should feel repetitive. What do I mean by that? Well, you should be taking the same types of trades over and over again, okay? You should be taking the same types of trades over and over. Do not switch methodologies every other week. Don't go trading what little buddy says on Twitter. This is the hot topic. You know, this is the best strategy, and trade what everyone else is trying to learn this week on Twitter, because I promise you there's going to be something new to learn next week, and there's going to be something new to learn and trade next week, and there's going to be something new to learn and trade next month. It's never going to end. And you wonder why you don't get results, because you're literally strategy hopping on what some guy hiding behind a cartoon profile pic is preaching is the best, instead of really finding what works for you, knowing that trading is a game of probabilities, and then being systematic about your approach and sticking to your edge, not what some little guru says on Twitter, okay? So getting into and out of a trade should feel repetitive, and you should be taking the same types of trades over and over again. Do not switch methodologies from week to week, month to month. Stick what's working for you, and then you can streamline your process by either removing things instead of adding it, or maybe you do find something that you want to see if it works with your current strategy. Then you can, it's almost like a scientific method. You can add that one thing in, see how it performs, and if it doesn't perform, strip it back out and then stick with what works, okay? Don't switch strategies, don't switch methodologies, show up every day and be a bricklayer, right? This is the lesson for this column, this little star. Show up every day and be a bricklayer. What do I mean by bricklayer? Well, what does a bricklayer do? Comes to work every day, he lays the foundation, every day he lays a brick, he lays the bricks, and by the end of his working career, he has a mansion, right? He has a big ass mansion. So don't switch methodologies. What you need to do is show up and be a bricklayer, okay? Show up daily, be systematic, getting into and out of a trade should feel repetitive, and you should be taking the same types of trades over and over. Don't strategy hop. It's an endless loop, okay? I've been there. Number 4, the fourth thing I wish I knew in my first year. Money is a byproduct of the process, okay? Money is a byproduct of the process. So stop staring at your P&L, stop staring at the amount of capital you have, stop thinking about how much money you can make, stop thinking about the P&L, the trade that you're in right now, right? If you're watching this video and you're in a trade, stop looking at the P&L and instead focus on the process of being a good trader, okay? Focus on the process. You should be process focused, and you gotta remember, as a result of focusing on the process, you're going to make money, because money is a byproduct of that process. Money is a byproduct of skill, all right? We're running through this. Focus on the process of being a good trader, and remember, right? Remember, quality setups are always better than taking a bunch of, B grade, C grade setups, right? Those A+ setups, those quality setups, those are the ones you hammer, right? Those are the ones you size up on. You don't need to go and chase all these little, B+, C+ setups, right? Less is more in trading. And you gotta remember, less is more. It sounds cliche, and I've been preaching this forever, but less is more in trading. And this ain't your daddy's 9 to 5, okay? This ain't your daddy's 9 to 5. Just because you're sitting in front of the chart, you're spending hours sitting there in front of your charts. Oh, I deserve to make money. I have time. I better place a trade. I have time to sit here in front of the charts. Let me go place a trade. Don't do that. This ain't your daddy's 9 to 5. You don't get paid for your time. You get paid for your decisions, okay? I like to compare trading to kind of almost an athlete, right? We're athletes. Instead of performing with our bodies, we're performing with our mind, right? And so it's all a big mental game. All we're doing is sitting here pushing a few buttons, right? And so when I say less is more, and this ain't your daddy's 9 to 5, and I have a little clock drawn here, right? It's another little drawing. My little clock drawn here, it's because we're not getting paid for our time. We're getting paid for our decisions. You know, myself included, we all grow up thinking the harder we work, the more money we can make. But in trading, you could be working really hard, but you're draining your account, you know? I'm working real hard at draining my account right now. This ain't your daddy's 9 to 5. So you'll make more money by removing the dumb mistakes and losing trades that you take, okay? So by stripping those dumb decisions out, those dumb trades undo the good trades that you've taken, right? So all those losses, by removing them, you're actually gonna make more money, okay? So how can I remove these trades? How can I stop making these dumb mistakes? Well, one, you need to be journaling, but two, block out all the noise. Just block out all the noise, the Twitter threads, the PDFs, the YouTube videos even. Stop looking for the next holy grail. Stop going in these Discord rooms and block out the noise and just lock in on your process, right? Lock in on your process. Money is gonna be a byproduct of that process. And lastly, aim for less trades and aim for more capital, all right? This is the last one, and I'll be honest, this one might be hard for you to get at first, especially if you're brand new. But for those of you who've been trading for a while, you know what I'm talking about. It kind of ties back into the less is more thing. Aim for less trades and more capital, right? Stop trying to force setups so you can make more money, okay? I'm gonna say it again. Stop trying to force setups so you can make more money. You don't need more trades. What you really need is more capital, right? You don't need more trades, you need more capital, okay? So by remembering that quality is better than quantity of trades, right? If you're taking A+ setups, you don't need to go out and force more trades. Stop forcing setups. You don't need more trades, you need more capital behind the good trades that you're already taking, okay? So what's the solution? If I don't need more trades and I need more capital, what's the solution? Well, like I said, you size properly on the A+ setups that are already jumping off the chart at you, okay? A good setup, an A+ setup, is going to jump off the chart at you. It's obvious. When you think about it, you don't have to sit there and dial in on the 4-minute and then go 3, 2. Like you don't, when I see a good setup, it literally jumps off the chart, smacks me in the face, and I'm like, I'm an idiot if I don't take that setup. And I do my full position size, I'm in, don't have to think about it. I set my stop loss, I set my take profit, and I just walk away, right? That's what I'm doing. And that's what I mean by you don't need more trades. You don't need to sit there and force and scalp 100 different trades a day, right? What you really need is to size up heavier on those A+ setups, because less is more in trading. Quality is better than quantity. And when you size up on those A+ trades, you're gonna feel good about taking a loss if you do take one, right? Because you gotta remember, our edge is only so sharp, you can't win every trade. You're gonna take an A+ setup, it's gonna fail on you sometimes. So when you do take that loss on an A+ trade, when you sized up on it, I actually personally feel better about that loss than when I took a bad loss on a trade that I forced, right? But even though I lost less money. So what do I mean by that? Well, personally, if I risk $6,000 on a trade and it's a good trade, but I lose, I feel better about that loss than if I risked $1,000 on a bad trade, right? Because I broke my rules on that bad trade. I knew I shouldn't have done it. And honestly, subconsciously in my head, if that trade had worked out, that bad trade that I took, if it actually played out in my favor, all that's doing is reinforcing bad habits, okay? So aim for less trades and more capital, all right? Stop trying to force the setups. You don't need more trades, you need more capital. And what you need to be doing is sizing properly on those A+ setups that are already jumping off the chart at you. So this was 5 things you need to know in your first year of trading. And like I said, I'm sharing them with you because these are things that I wish I knew in my first year. And by knowing these 5 things, you're going to progress much quicker than anybody else out there.